few years ago, I was a traveling salesman, and I had a route that I went on, several towns between here and the coast. And early on in my career, I stopped at a little town just north of Corpus Christi, and it looked like a nice little motel. So I pulled in there and checked in and put my baggage in the room and kind of relaxed a little bit. I saw a neon sign across the way, said lounge, cold beer. Well, I was tired and it was hot, middle of August, so I went to the lounge. Typical lounge, darkened, a little bit smoky here and there. However, being the late hour of the night, there was not many people in there. In fact, there was just one couple over in a corner, dimly lit. Obviously, they wanted their privacy. There was the bartender. So I sat on a stool next to the bar. Bartender came over to me. He says, "What do you have, mister?" I said, "Well, I think I'll have one of those cold beers you were talking about there on the sign. What'll it be?" And I said, "Well, give me a Budweiser on draft, please." So he went over there and filled my mug. Foam came over the top. It looked good after a long, hot day on the road. I took a good, healthy sip. And there before me was a bowl of peanuts. Oh, goodness, they looked good. I hadn't had supper. Everything else in town was closed up. I took another sip of that beer, and I looked down at those peanuts, and I grabbed a handful of them, threw them in my mouth, and began to chew them. Oh, they hit the spot. Sat there a minute or two, took another sip of my beer, looked around. Still nobody in the lounge to speak of. Then I heard a voice that said, "You certainly have a nice tie." Startled, as it were, to have heard a voice out of nowhere, I looked around. Not a soul there, just that couple in the corner. The bartender was at the end of the bar looking at a televised sports show. Startled as I were, I took another sip of the beer, settled down after a bit, took another bite or two of the peanuts. Again, a voice came, "You have very nice cologne on tonight." I couldn't stand it any longer. Shaken now, I hailed the bartender. I said, "Bartender, come here a minute." He said, "Yes, sir. What is it, mister?" I said, "I've been sitting here drinking this beer, eating these peanuts. There's nobody in here except you and me and that couple over in the corner. But I keep hearing these voices. It first told me I had a very nice tie, and now it's just told me I have very nice cologne. What is going on? Is this place haunted or something?" The bartender replied, "Oh, don't worry about it, mister. That's just the peanuts. They're complimentary."